the spine is governed and controlled by your hip. Okay? And the best example that I have of that is if you can see here my hips. Okay? My spine is centered in my hips, is centered, right? I want you to imagine my palm as my hip and this shaft as my spine. In order for me to move my spine to your left, my right, my hips have to move in the opposite direction. The spine reacts to the hips in all movement. Basketball, football, hockey, baseball, golf, tennis, doesn't matter. Okay? The spine is reactive to the hips. If I move my hips to your right, this club is going to go to the left. And vice versa. Front, back. Okay? It doesn't matter. Even dynamically, it responds to what the hips do. Okay? So, the people in this room who play golf and are concentrating on club position and breaking 90 or 80 understand that maintaining spine angle is a problem because we're focused on the spine when we should be focused on what I refer to as grand central station. Everything happens here in the hip. Okay? So if I want to learn to maintain spine angle so I don't do this, how many people do that? Okay? This is called coming over the top. This totally changes my swing path. Okay? My swing path is now coming from out to in, when ideally we want a swing path coming from in to out, right? You guys with me on this? Okay? So my swing path can be controlled by my awareness and function of what my hips do. It's my hips that move my spine. So in order for me to prevent this from happening, okay, I know that in order for me to cast or to come over the top, my spine has to move forward. In order for my spine to move forward, you all now know that the hips had to go back in order for my spine to go forward, right? Because it's the opposite. If who hits this position? This is familiar. Right? We know that. Okay? It's called early extension. Early extension of the what? Early extension of your spine. Right? We're so focused on what's going on with the spine. And to me, that's a fundamental flaw in our approach to golf and in instruction. And even with TPI. Okay? Now, my guy John, who is a SwingPlex certified instructor, he's also TPI. But we go way, way beyond TPI. Not to disrespect TPI, because I think TPI is great. TPI is great in understanding swing flaws. Doesn't do anything to remedy swing flaw. This is what I'm doing. I'm trying to help golfers understand the fundamental, the real reason why we can't maintain spine angle. And it's because of awareness and function. My whole thing is about awareness and function. What you are aware of, you can change. And what you are not aware of, you have no idea that change is necessary. So we're on a wild goose chase in terms of trying to control spine angle. Okay? We're going to control spine angle by learning to control our hips. Okay? The hips are grand central station from all athletic movement. Okay? So if you look at Tiger, if you look at that base triangle, we have the first shot is Tiger at address. That top red dot is here on his pubic bone. Okay? If you look at the top of his backswing, where he's at the tip top of his backswing, the second photo, look where his hips are. You know what they've done? They haven't moved forward, they haven't moved backwards, they haven't moved right or left. all his hips did were turn. They just rotated just a bit. Just a little subtle turn. It's not a big turn. It doesn't require a Cirque du Soleil level of flexibility. It doesn't. That comes later. His hips have rotated maybe 30, 35 degrees, maybe. If you look at his transition down to impact, look where his hips are compared to that red dot. That is called maintaining coccygeal space. And all that means is this is my coccygeal space. This space underneath and around and behind my pubic bone. Okay? This is my coccygeal space. And in order to increase my smash factor, my compression, to control my dispersion, the smaller my coccygeal space is dynamically when I'm in motion, okay, all those numbers go up. My distance goes farther, my accuracy, my dispersion gets tighter, and my ball hitting ability just is enhanced from wedge to driver because of what I'm doing with my hips. Now knowing, I'm becoming aware that my hips have to stay centered and rotate in this small space. That's it. We look at Tiger, we look at Ernie Els underneath him, the same thing. Now, there's some levers to the triangle. If we go down to the two dots that are on his knees, okay? And if you look at my knees now, if you can see me, I set up to a golf ball. I want you to look at the space that's in between my ankles, that the ground is the bottom of the triangle. My knees are the bottom layer and then the top layer. There's something that happens, and maybe you've already noticed it, but from knee to ankle, from knee to ground base, on my backswing, if you look at Tiger, if you look at Ernie, and I take and I rotate, it's the base triangle that controls the top triangle. I move through the top of my golf swing here. You notice that the left shin is moving towards the ball. Greg, that would be your right because you're a lefty. Okay? Transition. I'm moving my base triangle. It's the base triangle that moves the top triangle down into the impact position. My right shin, if you look at Tiger's right shin, you look at Ernie's right shin, the angle is slanting down to the ball because their kinematic sequence, and all that means is how they release their body and the club back down to the ball. We know if we start the sequence from the top down, we know what's going to happen. It's disaster. It's over the top. I've lost my hip. I've lost all my power. I've lost all my accuracy. I have no idea where my golf ball is going to go. But the club that I just bought, my offset anti-slice driver, okay, is going to help me somehow control my dispersion. Smoke and mirrors, people. It's smoke and mirrors. You can control your path and your dispersion by understanding how to use your body correctly. And anybody can do it. You got 2 arms, 2 legs, and 1 spine. You can do it. Okay, so again, and I will emphasize in just a minute how important it is for the top triangle to follow the base triangle. It's the base triangle that is the all important here. Okay, so again, top triangle, I take my backswing. I know that if I'm using my hips within my coccygeal space, I didn't slide out of my space. I want you to pretend that you're in a cylinder. This is a tight space. When you take your setup, this space can't become any larger. Now I'm making my space larger dynamically. Okay? I'm going to do a dance over my golf ball. Some people do. It's amazing, the golf swings that I've seen. Tight doesn't mean tense. Just means I'm controlling. controlled tension in my hips. We love to see left shin slant, just like Tiger and Ernie, right shin slant, down to impact. So understanding the difference between address and impact is a drill that we do. Simple, okay? So if you were a baseball player or a quarterback, what do you spend your time doing? Learning techniques on how to release or catch or hit a ball. But golfers, we don't spend time learning body position. We don't. We spend time putting, chipping on a driving range, just remanufacturing our swing flaws over and over again until they become ingrained. And when you create that neural net, they say, I could teach you a swing change, show you, you repeat it 100 times, it's going to take you 1,000 times to get rid of it. Okay? And that's just neural netting. The central nervous system remembers. Muscle memory is real. So if you're just beginning golf, it's very important that you understand how to use your body early on. I'll tell you a little bit about my background really quick. I moved here in '95 to travel with the Phoenix Suns. I did strength and conditioning and rehabilitation at a world-class level. Before that, I worked at the Los Angeles Sports Medicine Clinic in Marina del Rey, California, rehabbing the general public. It was a sports medicine clinic, probably the top 3 in the world. We saw all types of athletes and regular people, sports injuries, okay? My background is to restore function and awareness in bodies. That's what I do. So I've applied this to golf. And in doing so, over the last 5 years, this thing started to develop for me, this base triangle thing. And what the base triangle can do is it can restore and repair your swing pattern, your swing flaws, can all be related to how you use your body. Okay, so the top triangle. Ben Hogan talks about collarbone, 2 arms, top triangle, okay? Have you ever read that book? Great book, I love it, I promote it for free. And the top triangle it's a great tool, it's a good vision. You know, we want to take the top triangle back and we want to bring it down, okay? Yes, one layer of the top triangle folds, okay? Then the other folds, and then they both fold to a finish. But in the hitting zone, the top triangle has to be extended, just as it was at address, okay? If I lose my top triangle, if I lose the extension of it, I'm going to hit shots, fat and thin. I know everybody's done that, right? If my top triangle is extended and it is connected to the base triangle via my spine, okay, you see my anatomy now? Spine, top triangle, base triangle, here's my golf swing, here's your golf swing. I move my top triangle by moving my base triangle. I have to keep my extension. If I break down, probably going to hit a thin shot because the club is now above the equator of the ball. I have to maintain my extension. And you don't have to take it back so far. A lot of my shots here, I stop my top triangle parallel to the ground.